Now, Thailand is cracking down on cyber scam networks run from labour camps across its border with Myanmar. Officials have arrested suspected ringleaders and tried cutting power to the compounds where thousands of people are made to work and live. This video shows some of the foreigners being freed after having been trafficked to the facilities in Myanmar. In the camps, they were allegedly forced and sometimes tortured into targeting victims of online fraud around the world. The United Nations says hundreds of thousands of people have been lured to work in compounds like this across Southeast Asia. The gambling town of Shwe Kokko is one of the sites that was recently raided.
Just a few weeks ago, this is what the notorious gambling town of Shwe Kokko on the Myanmar border looked like. But then, neighboring Thailand pulled the plug as part of a crackdown on illegal scam compounds here. Now, many of the colorful lights are gone, replaced, says this Thai MP, by lights powered by diesel and coal generators.
They try to find means to continue their businesses. It's indicated that you asked me that is it successful. I think it's half successful, just slowing down their black businesses. However, it stopped them completely? I don't think so.
Scam compounds have mushroomed over the years just across the river in war-torn Myanmar. They're staffed by thousands of foreigners who are often trafficked and forced to work here.
We are Cameroonian, Nigerian, Kenyan, Rwandan, Liberian, Ethiopian. We are trapped here. Today, we try to force our way out.
A local NGO says it obtained this video shot last weekend.
We talked with the military, with the Myanmar military. Now they ask us to wait in here. There are many other Africans out there. They are trapped in the office. They are forced to work 18, 17 hours every day, beaten, no salary, no day off. They work every day. We've been tortured using electric shock.
Videos like this one reach activists almost every day now, as many scam shops are shuttered. The power cut has not just hit the scammers, but ethnic groups here as well. So they say they will now help with shutting operations down. Reports say Thailand could receive more than 10,000 illegal workers in the coming weeks.
The Thai government has realized that this human trafficking and call center scam is a threat originating from Chinese gangs. It's a real security threat because these gangs are not stopping there. This is about human trafficking, but also involves drugs, from what we know.
Brian Bruce, an American investor, is one of the people who got scammed. He lost $200,000 when he bought cryptocurrency on this platform.
24-hour trading, that's their volume, they say, how many users that they have, which is all fake.
Now he works for an anti-fraud organization. Rooting out the scam industry here will be a long process, he says, just like with Cambodia a few years ago.
A lot of world political pressure was put on Cambodia. What are you doing? The scamming's happening here. What's going to be done? And so then they went and started raiding these compounds. However, we see it shift, right? And so as Cambodia started to kind of crumble and come down on these scams, well, we can go over to Myanmar now and start up in Myanmar.
For years, that approach worked for the criminals. But now it seems Thailand means business with stopping cybercrime and the scam industry.
Jason Tower has followed the industrialization of these scam compounds for years. He's joining us now from the Burma program at the United States Institute for Peace. Thanks so much for your time today. It's good to have you on the program. Thousands of people have been rescued from these illegal call centres in Myanmar. Can you tell us a little bit about what they're saying about the time they've essentially spent in captivity?
Yeah, so I mean, you're seeing where many of these people, the majority of them, have been subject to psychological as well as physical torture, electrocution, beatings. They're meant to work extremely long shifts, 14 to 16 hours per day. They're also meant to hit very aggressive targets. And so if they're not able to bring in a certain amount of money each month for the syndicates, then they're subject to additional punishment. So this has been a quite traumatic experience for a lot of these individuals. You're seeing where many of the individuals coming out at this point are now getting designation as victims of human trafficking. So this has been an extremely difficult ordeal for these people. Many of them, I think, will continue to experience trauma, continue to experience extreme difficulties moving forward, having been subject to conditions like this inside of the scam centers.
How are they lured in? How are they caught in the first place?
Yeah, so a lot of them actually responded to online advertisements circulated on social media platforms. So, you know, they saw there were advertisements for what sometimes appeared to be legitimate jobs, or at a minimum more gray area jobs. Sometimes, you know, what was advertised was say a high-paying job in cryptocurrency or in blockchain development, or a high-paying job as a worker inside of a casino or a hotel. So, you know, these are the forms of advertisements. People respond to the advertisements. They go through several rounds of interviews, and then they're purchased. They have plane tickets purchased for them. They fly off to a transit country like Thailand, and on arrival in Thailand, basically what happens at the airport is they're picked up in VIP vans. They're asked for their passports, and then they're driven across the border into Myanmar, where it's really only at that point they realize what has happened. You're seeing more recently, though, that the approach to trafficking people is changing, and now there are much more of these custom sorts of efforts to reach out to people, where the traffickers will actually approach someone on social media. They'll have gained some information in advance about that individual's profession, and then they'll offer them a job in that particular profession. And that's what happened to a large group of Chinese nationals at the end of December.
And China says that it is working with Thailand and Myanmar to eradicate what it has called the malignant tumor of online gambling. But how serious are they about shutting down such a lucrative business?
Yeah, no, I mean, you are seeing where China's under a significant amount of pressure after this issue with a number of individuals being trafficked from China into Thailand played out. You saw where China responded very aggressively. And in fact, you know, you've seen where Chinese police are now increasingly pushing to get access in Thailand so that they can play a direct role in trying to crack down on the scam syndicates that were involved in trafficking the Chinese nationals, but then also in, scamming Chinese nationals. Interestingly, though, I mean, if you look at some of the data, the majority of Chinese that get trafficked into Myanmar, into these scam compounds, or otherwise tricked into the scam compounds, actually end up traveling over China's own border with Myanmar or, one of the other neighboring countries. It's only really around 25% based on a database that we saw of Chinese victims over the last couple of weeks that's emerged online. Only about 25% go through Thailand. So you're seeing where China's putting a lot of pressure on Thailand to address these issues around safety of its nationals. This is having some implications for tourism in Thailand. But I think the reality here is that actually a lot of these individuals are trafficked through China.
Just briefly, if you could, what needs to be done to mitigate these scam syndicates?
Yeah, no, I mean, so first and foremost, how did this problem get out of control in Thailand? In Myanmar. It's because of the situation that played out after the military coup. The Myanmar military's own border guard force is responsible for bringing in these extremely powerful transnational criminal networks, most of them actually being organized crime groups from the PRC. And over the past couple of years, you've seen that these compounds have ballooned out of control. So part of the solution here is dealing with the circumstances that have been a direct result of the Myanmar military's coup. It's undermined law enforcement inside of the country, and it's caused crime to really grow out of control in the country. Beyond that, I think there's a lot that could be done in terms of addressing some of the border challenges. And you see where now Thailand is starting to do that. It's starting to cut off flows of resources. It's cut off fuel. It's cut off electricity into the compounds. Another thing, though, is ensuring there's not impunity. Right. So a lot of those leaders of the border guard force are directly operating these compounds. One thing to do is to look at, strategies, law enforcement strategies. Is there a way to issue arrest warrants targeting some of these kingpins, of these compound operators? So I think Thailand is starting to explore that a bit. And you've seen where already the Thai police are looking at that as another strategy.
Jason Tower, I'm sorry we have run out of time, but I'd like to thank you so much for joining us on the programme. Jason Tower from the United States Institute for Peace in Bangkok. Thank you.